Well, the case of the killing of Cecil the lion has got people talking around the world. Lots of them have been venting their spleen on social media about their feelings for the American dentist who's in hot water for hunting the creature, which was a national icon in Zimbabwe.
So, does he deserve the backlash, or is mob mentality getting out of hand? He's certainly not the first person to fall victim to it. Well, joining us now is the artist Celina Teague, who's working on an exhibition called I Think, Therefore I Am #, which opens next week. Welcome to Sky News tonight. First of all, what do you think? Do you think it's now getting out of hand, this backlash against the dentist? Because after all, there are lots of other rich Westerners who go off and kill wild game, and they haven't suffered this vilification. It's just because he happened to be named and shamed, if you like, and this lion was a well-known figure, if you like, in this national park in Zimbabwe.
Yes. It's a tricky one. I just wrote an article about this culture of shame, and generally I'm quite sympathetic to people who fall victims of it, and I think in the cases of Tim Hunt, for example, or Justine Sacco, I feel immensely sorry for them. These are people who have their entire careers taken down, they're stripped down, and on the flip side, I'm a huge animal lover, and so this case is something that touches me emotionally very much. I do think the punishment that has been meted out on him, and being the same punishment that is meted out on Justine Sacco, for example, or Tim Hunt, is disproportionate. And as a result, I find there's a kind of a disparity. But on
Tim Hunt was the scientist who said that women get emotional in the laboratory and cry and fall in love, and he was vilified for that.
Exactly. He was vilified. It was a throwaway comment. This is obviously something that is more serious, I'd say. I mean, he's a hunter he's got literally blood on his hands.
And then we've got the case of the dancing man as well, haven't we?
The case of the
which
dancing
again,
man.
Another Twitter phenomenon. And in terms of the treatment and the impact, I mean, how does that compare? It's quite extraordinary, isn't it?
Well, I can't understand why anyone would want to take down someone for dancing and being happy and merry. And this is the thing, there's a difference between someone who is doing something that is, let's say, putting blood on their hands, committing some sort of atrocity that we can all recognise as something very uncomfortable, because at the end of the day he killed a lion that was beloved, although we didn't know about this lion before, did we? I mean, it's something that came to light.
Well, this is it, because a lot of people in Zimbabwe said they hadn't heard of this lion, and a lot of people are saying, well, what about the people of Zimbabwe who've been suffering a lot because of the dire economic situation there? And there's also been, if you like, a backlash against the backlash in the United States, with a lot of people saying, well, black Americans have been killed by police. We don't see the same amount of tears being shed on Twitter as we've seen over this lion.
I know. And I think we have to ask the question, why is this man, Walter Palmer, being so targeted? Is it actually Cecil the lion, or is it more to do with the fact that this is a rich American man, he's gone and spent a small fortune doing this? Is there something about the taste that we don't like this?
And we've now got a petition that's been reviewed by the White House, who are now seriously considering whether or not he should be extradited. I mean, will that have happened without Twitter?
No. So you could argue sometimes Twitter can be a force for good. But it is this culture of shame that I think we should really explore a little bit closer, because it is pretty vitriolic, and what does that really say about us? And do we want to continue in this path of tearing people down? Do we want to admit to being cyberbullies? Because that is effectively what we are en masse.
Is Twitter prone in that way, do you think, to negativity in a way that other social media isn't?
I would say so more, because it's just this small text. And it's a shallow representation, you can't really fill in all the details, like maybe on Facebook you can post the actual article. So I think that's problematic.
Does it make people feel good about themselves? They're kind of joining in a righteous cause, if you like. It's almost like a bullying playground mentality, if you like.
It is a bullying playground mentality, and I think that's it makes me uncomfortable. I don't personally want to take part. I'm not a real Twitter user, actually. I prefer Facebook. For that reason, that you can have a more rounded picture, that you can explore something a bit more deeper. Twitter is what it is, and it can be this immense cause for good, and it will definitely bring about fantastic causes and awareness for all of us, which is what's happening now. There's lots of money being donated.
Great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Time now to take a look at the weather.